And we are live.
Excellent. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this special meeting of the County Council of Lennox and Addington called for Monday, September 8th, 2025. I call the meeting to order at 7 p.m. We do have an agenda before us. I'm requested to add to the agenda a second matter for consideration, an oral report by Ms. Chenier. Can I get a mover and seconder for that as amended? Councillor Davison, seconded by Councillor Fritsch. All those in favor? Motion is carried. Adoption of minutes of the regular monthly meeting held August 13th. Can I get a mover for those minutes? Councillor Hogg, seconded by Councillor Calver. Any edits, errors, or omissions? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Motion is carried. Are there any disclosures of pecuniary interest or the general nature thereof this evening? Seeing none, I do have a rise and report. County Council held a closed session meeting on August 20th, 2025 to receive advice subject to solicitor-client privilege. The county's solicitor was present for the entirety of the meeting. At that meeting, County Council directed staff to authorize the solicitor to prepare a formal letter to the town of Greater Napanee, reviewed by the warden, deputy warden, and CAO, directing the town of Greater Napanee to cease and desist distribution of the encampment map and to remove county properties from the map, since this is not consistent with the Municipal Act. This evening at 6:30 p.m., County Council held another closed session meeting. At this meeting, Council approved closed session minutes from meetings held July 16th and August 20th and discussed potential litigation. I have a motion coming out of that closed into open. The motion is that Council direct the warden to send a letter to the mayor of the town of Greater Napanee to inform him of the following: that the County of Lennox and Addington does not intend to pursue any further legal remedy to the recent disputes that have existed between us, that it is the intention of Lennox and Addington County to create its own bylaw and work with the town of Greater Napanee, who have formally committed to reflect such a bylaw in their encampment protocol map, and that it is Council's sincere wish that Lennox and Addington County and the town of Greater Napanee continue our positive cooperation in addressing our shared challenges and responsibilities. Can I have a mover for that motion coming out of closed? Councillor Wise, seconded by Councillor Fritsch. Any discussion? Call the question. All those in favor? Motion is carried. We come to matters for consideration. 2025 hot mix contract. Over to Mr. Wagger.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Warden. Through you. Earlier this year, council directed staff to postpone the works to be completed on the southern portion of County Road 6 in Loyalist Township. The intent for that was we were hopeful that we would get some additional funding through the MHIP program. Staff have been informed that we were unsuccessful for the second time for that program. So that's unfortunate. Good news is there's still time in the construction season to complete the works as originally anticipated. And currently, with the savings we have on both the County Road 12 project and the hot mix project, we're still projecting about a $680,000 savings should we go ahead and complete the works on County Road 6 this year as originally intended. And that's what staff is asking council to do is basically direct staff to reinstate that section of County Road 6 back into the hot mix program for 2025. Happy to answer any questions should council have any.
Thanks, Mr. Wagger. Questions from council? Seeing none, I would look for a motion. Councillor Calver. No. You're muted, Councillor Calver. I apologize. There we
Sorry
go.
about that. Yeah, I think we should go with staff recommendation and get that work done.
Save a bit of money. Can I get a seconder to that? Deputy Warden, any further discussion? Call the question. All those in favor? Motion is carried. And we come to the addition of item number 2. Ms. Shenya, I know, has some upcoming events related to Pellis that she wants to let the public know about. Over to you, Ms. Shenya.
Thank you, Mr. Warden. I really wanted to provide this verbal update tonight, to make sure that everyone is aware of and the importance of understanding where the responsibility of housing and homelessness lies. So that's the purpose of my verbal report tonight. So in 1998, the province downloaded social services delivery to the upper tier municipalities. Each service area was required to have a population of at least 50,000 people at the time. Neither Lennox and Addington County nor Prince Edward County met that criteria. So the province mandated a consolidation of the Ontario Works, the childcare, and the social housing for the two counties. And that's how the corporation titled Prince Edward, Lennox, and Addington Social Services came to be. So Pellis is governed by a board, which we refer to as Pellis Committee. That committee is made up of 3 county councillors from Lennox and Addington County and 3 county councillors from Prince Edward County. As a corporation, it is independent from both Lennox and Addington and Prince Edward counties, and it does not require council to approve their decisions or recommendations regarding programming or the distribution of provincial or federal funds. So it's a separate entity on its own. So Pellis is responsible for the delivery of social assistance, specifically Ontario Works assistance, children's services, which is fee subsidy for children's services, as well as supporting the operators in our service area, and housing and homelessness. So specific to housing and homelessness, I'll kind of break it up into 2. So on the housing side of things, Pellis manages the local housing corporation, which includes 421 social housing units. We support 5 nonprofit housing providers, and we manage the centralized wait list for both the local housing corporation and for the 5 nonprofit housing providers. So specific to homelessness, Pellis is responsible for developing and implementing the local housing and homelessness plans that are aligned with provincial goals. So Pellis is responsible to complete a new 10-year housing and homelessness plan by May 2026. And that requirement came from the ministry just within the last couple of months with those due dates. That whole process will include consultation with the communities in both counties, municipal staff, people with lived experience, community organizations, as well as community stakeholders. So that's going to be quite a lengthy process that we're going to be undertaking to have it ready and submitted by May of 2026. Pellis is also responsible for managing the provincial funding, which is called the Homelessness Prevention Program. And the responsibility is to distribute the resources to the local agencies and initiatives that help support homeless individuals and families. So in 2024, Pellis provided nearly $1 million to assist approximately 600 low-income households to either secure or to maintain their existing housing. Pellis funded 145 rent supplement units for low-income individuals and families in order for them to be affordably housed. Pellis supported 36 transitional housing units and provided over $1 million to support community partners to support homeless individuals, including a warming center. And those services are quite varied. It includes mental health supports, addiction supports, food security programs, legal assistance, and to name just a few. Pellis is also responsible for maintaining the by name list, which is used to help track homeless trends, monitor outcomes, and do reporting to the province. In addition, Pellis is not mandated to do an enumeration. However, there was one done in 2018 and another one done in 2021. Municipalities that receive funding through the federal Reaching Home program are mandated to complete enumeration. However, Pellis is not one of those communities, but we are going to be doing an enumeration in October, November of this year in order to find out, okay, where are we now in terms of homeless individuals, and to see if there's, really what's the data. And then on October 1st, another big initiative which has come through Palace Committee, we will be hosting a meeting of elected officials as well as municipal staff from both Prince Edward County, the Township of Addington Highlands, the Town of Greater Napanee, Loyalist Township, and Stone Mills Township. And the goal of that day is we're looking for collaborative solutions, focused discussions regarding the challenges related to homelessness in our communities. So we recognize that homelessness looks different in Addington Highlands than it does in Greater Napanee, than it does in Prince Edward County, than it does in Loyalist Township. And we'd like to have discussions about what it looks like in each of those municipalities, what can Palace do to better support each of those municipalities in relation to homelessness. And that we'll be using that information as well to help inform the housing and homelessness plan that will be ready for May of 2026. In terms of funding, the total budget for housing and homelessness is $9.9 million per year. So Lennox and Addington and Prince Edward counties contribute 43% of that 9.9 million. The provincial and federal governments combined contribute 35,000, and then sorry, not 35,000, 35%, my apologies. And tenant rents contribute 22% of that total budget. And I'd be happy to answer any questions that council may have.
Thank you, Ms. Chenier. Lots of work coming down the pipe. Councillor Calver, did you have a question? Yep, Councillor Calver, go ahead.
Yes, thank you, Jordan. Ms. Chenier, so I guess my concern is what about the population that we have that are, as I've been told several times, are unhousable. They can't go into housing, they can't go to hotel. What are we going to do with them? Or what's the plan going forward with those individuals that are homeless?
Thank you for the question through the warden. I think that's a very, very challenging question. I don't think any municipality in the country has actually figured out what that solution is. All we can continue to really do is to engage with people that are homeless, offer supports, try and stabilize them. Transitional housing is a great opportunity to try and do that by giving someone a place to lay their head every night, be able to have showers, cook meals, get them stabilized. I think the transitional housing is a very key component of that. And that's what we've been trying to do, and we've been pretty successful at it. We've had 44 people who've moved from living on the street, completely homeless, to moving through into permanent accommodation through that transitional housing program. So I think that's a big key one. Again, not everyone is suited to that because, again, it's communal living. So for those that would not be suitable for transitional housing, I think that's a struggle that hopefully we're going to be able to talk about on October 1st as well. And hopefully greater minds, many minds may be able to come up with solutions.
Yeah, because that's what we're getting hit with a lot is these individuals that they can't be housed, they can't go to a transitional home, they can't go to a hotel or a motel. So anyways, it was just a question. Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor Calver. Any other questions? Oh, Councillor Richardson.
Thank you, Mr. Warden. Just briefly, I mean, I apologize. I kind of hoped that I would have had more time to prepare for this verbal report, but unfortunately I haven't. So with respect to the October 1st meeting, are we going to invite other stakeholders other than the council folks within our territory or jurisdiction? And will that meeting be open to the media?
Thanks for the question through the warden to Councillor Richardson. So I was directed by Palace Committee that it would be open to municipalities within Lennox and Addington and Prince Edward County for municipal staff and councillors for those areas. And we are not inviting outside representatives from other levels of government or anything like that. And it will not be open to the media because it's really hoped to be a strategist working session.
You have a follow-up, Councillor Richardson? Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Warden. Would it be to our advantage to invite other stakeholders, say people that are involved in the housing business, or and like I say, I'm sure that the summit is going to probably garner a lot of attention from our media folks who obviously are very interested in the plight that we're dealing with here in the town of Greater Napanee. So could there be some considerations for that, or are they steadfast hardened to be a closed meeting without any ability for the media to cover that, or any other stakeholders? There may be other stakeholders out there that may help us in the problem that we're having. So I guess the question is there any flexibility in that, or is it set in stone that that's the way it's going to be?
Thanks for the question through the warden to Councillor Richardson. I believe that for October 1st, the invitations will be limited to what they are limited to right now. So it would be elected officials and staff from each of the lower tiers in Prince Edward County. There may be a potential for a follow-up meeting. I think the day is going to be pretty big as it is to get through all of the work. So I think leaving it at this is what I've been directed to do. So I think that's where we'll go from there, and potentially that could be a discussion for at that meeting whether or not there can be a follow-up meeting.
Go ahead, Councillor Richardson.
Yep. Yeah, great. Thank you, Mr. Ward.
Anybody else with questions? There'll be lots more. You're coming back with on the 24th as well, Ms. Chenier, is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so there'll be longer time to digest for an agenda at that point. Any other questions at this time? Seeing none, can I just get a motion to receive that oral update? Councillor Calver, seconded by Deputy Warden. All those in favor? Motion is carried. And we come to our confirmation of proceedings. 3 readings. Councillor Calver, seconded by Councillor Hogg. All those in favor? Motion is carried. And a motion to adjourn. Deputy Warden, seconded by Councillor Hogg. All those in favor?